Number 5. Ryan Giggs. There are very few more decorated footballers in the history of the game than Giggs, who finished his career with 34 trophies to his name. All of these came at Manchester United, with whom he spent his whole career, making 963 appearances in all, the most of any player in the Red Devils' history. He was part of the furniture at Old Trafford, and it was a huge loss when he left the club altogether in 2016 before taking over as Wales manager. Given the number of trophies he has won and the amount of records he has broken over the years, it is surprising he hasn't won more individual honors. He won a record 13 Premier League titles during a period where he also scored an impressive 21 consecutive league seasons. He was often outshined at the club by players that were more technically gifted, in particular, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Eric Cantona. However, because of his level of performances over such a long period of time, he will be remembered as a great player. Number 6. Andres Iniesta. The term genius is often overused in football, but with Iniesta, it is certainly an apt description. Alongside Xavi and Sergio Busquets, he was one of the best midfields that we have seen in world football and dominated Europe in the late 2000s and early 2010s. Iniesta also scored perhaps the most famous goal in the history of Spanish football, when he scored the winner for his country against the Netherlands in the 2010 World Cup final. Iniesta initially came through as a defensive midfielder at Barcelona, but it was clear to see early on that he had all the attributes to play up higher in the pitch. His ability to see a pass and his inventiveness and creativity mean that he was almost the complete midfield player. His understanding with Xavi at both club and international level was exceptional and was one of the things that made him such a great player. He was runner-up for the Ballon d'Or in 2010, but missed out to his club teammate Lionel Messi. Number 7. Frank Lampard. One of England's golden generation, Lampard is perhaps the greatest goal-scoring midfielder of his generation. He built his reputation at Chelsea after moving from West Ham in 2001 and is also regarded as one of their greatest players. Lampard was a part of Chelsea's most successful era at the club. He won 3 Premier League titles with the Blues and also captained them on the night they won the Champions League in Munich in 2012. Lampard was a master of his art in the midfield. He was an accomplished passer of the ball, but his main strength was his ability to get goals. He had a knack of arriving at the right time, in the right place to put the ball in the back of the net. He's the highest scoring midfielder in Premier League history, having netted 177 goals in his time with West Ham, Chelsea, and Manchester City. He was runner-up in the 2005 Ballon d'Or list, losing out to Ronaldinho. Number 8. Andrea Pirlo. There can't have been many cooler players to have played the game of football than Andrea Pirlo. He was the epitome of calm on the pitch, and he just made the game look so easy. If there is any evidence needed of how calm and collected he was, it comes in his autobiography where he said, "I don't feel pressure. I don't give a toss about it. I spent the afternoon of Sunday, July 2006 in Berlin, sleeping and playing the PlayStation. In the evening, I went out and won the World Cup." Pirlo made a name for himself with AC Milan before moving to Juventus later on in his career. The success he had was undeniable. He won 6 Series A titles, as well as winning the Champions League on 2 occasions. He also proved that he could perform on the biggest stage and won Man of the Match in the 2006 World Cup final. He finished 5th in the Ballon d'Or in 2007, the closest he came to winning the award in his career. Number 9. Thierry Henry. Perhaps the Premier League's greatest import, Henry lit up English football after his move from Juventus in 1999. An awful lot of credit must go to Arsene Wenger for this one. Henry was an unknown quality when he joined the Gunners and was naturally a left winger. Wenger, though, saw his potential as a striker and made Henry into the player we all know and loved in the Premier League. His time at Arsenal saw him score 226 goals in just 369 games, including netting 30 goals in 5 consecutive seasons, and was notably part of the Invincibles in the 2003-2004 season. He left the club in 2007 to join Barcelona in search of the only trophy that evaded him, the Champions League. He won that in 2009 and would go on to play out the final days of his career with the New York Red Bulls. Henry did come close to claiming the Ballon d'Or in 2003, finishing second behind Pavel Nedved. Number 10, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Lots of players talk the talk, but very few players walk the walk as well. No one in football has quite the ego that Zlatan has, but he certainly has been able to back that up on the pitch. Ibrahimovic has played his football all around Europe, and although he is a bit of a Marmite figure for some, there is no doubting he has been one hell of a footballer. He played his football in 6 nations in Europe and has impressed in every single one of them. It is hard to pick out just one spell from his career, but his longest time with a single club was at PSG, where he played 180 games in all competitions, scoring a quite remarkable 156 goals. He has succeeded in almost everywhere he has been and has won numerous trophies in his career. The closest he came to winning the Ballon d'Or was in 2013, where he finished in 4th place.